Today, we are cracking the code on some of Bridge's most powerful defensive signals. You know, the secret languages that separate the good partnerships from the really great ones. So, let's start with a big question. What do you think is the most important conversation you have during a game of Bridge? You might think it's the bidding, or maybe that post-game breakdown of what went wrong, but you'd be wrong.
That's right. It's the silent one, the opening lead. Think about it. That one card, it kicks off the entire defense. It's your first move in this secret conversation with your partner. Nail it and you're on your way to setting the contract. But mess it up, well, you might have just handed them the game on a silver platter.
All right, so here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with the big dilemma every defender has, touch on the standard way of doing things, and then we'll dive deep into the advanced signals. We'll compare journalist and Rousinow and figure out the million-dollar question. When do you use which? Okay, first up, the opening lead dilemma. You know the feeling, right? You're sitting there staring at 13 cards and you can only lead one. But that one card, man, it has to say so much. It's got to tell your partner your plan, what you've got, what you want them to do. How on earth do you pick the perfect one? Because here's the thing, it's not a guess, it's a message. Ask any bridge expert, and they'll tell you this single play is probably the most important one in the entire game. A great lead can set you up for a win, but a bad one? Well, that can hand the contract to your opponents on a silver platter. So what makes this play so tough? Well, you're essentially playing in the dark. You can't see your partner's hand, you can't see the declarer's hand, you're basically flying blind. So how in the world do you make an intelligent choice with so little information? The solution is to speak a language that you and your partner have agreed on ahead of time. All right, so before we jump into the really cool secret codes, we gotta cover the basics. Let's talk about the standard approach. This is the foundation for everything else we're gonna discuss. Standard American opening leads give you a framework, a set of rules that turns your lead from a random card into a crystal clear signal. You're not just playing a card, you're starting a conversation. Now, this system is really built on three main ideas, three pillars. And the first one, the most important one, is strength. If you've got a powerful suit, you need to shout it from the rooftops so your partner knows. This should always, always be your first thought. And the number one way to show that strength is by leading the top of a sequence. So what's a sequence? It's three or more honors that are touching each other. For instance, if you have a king, queen, jack, you lead the king. If you have a queen, jack, ken, you lead the queen. It's a super clear, unambiguous signal that you hold the cards right below the one you just played. And the benefits here? They're massive. Your partner instantly knows where your high cards are. Plus, it's an incredibly safe play. You're not going to accidentally give the declarer a free trick. The whole point of defense is to set up your tricks before the declarer sets up theirs. And this lead gets that job done fast. Let's really look at why this is so critical. On the left, if you lead the queen from queen jack 10, your partner knows exactly what's going on. But look at the hand on the right. If you lead the jack from king jack 10, what happens? If the declarer has the queen, you've just promoted it for them. You've literally handed them a free trick. The takeaway here is simple. Always lead from a solid, connected, strong sequence. Okay, that's great if you have a strong honor sequence. But what happens when you don't? What do you tell your partner then? Well, if you can't show strength, the next best thing is to show length. And that brings us to the second pillar of our defensive language. This is the classic go-to lead in bridge, especially when you're defending an Outram contract. It's simple. You find your longest and strongest suit, count down 4 cards from the top, and lead that one. So if you're holding something like king 10, 8, 5, 3, you lead the 5. Now, it might seem random, but trust me, that little 5 is packed with information. So why is this so powerful? First off, it tells your partner you have at least 4 cards in that suit. But even more important, it unlocks this really cool, powerful tool for your partner called the Rule of 11. Okay, I know Rule of 11 sounds a little intimidating, but it's actually super simple. Let's say your partner leads the 5 of spades. You just take that number, 5, and subtract it from 11. You get 6. That means there are exactly 6 spade cards higher than the 5, spread out between your hand, the dummy's hand, and the declarer's. You can see your cards and the dummies, so you can figure out exactly what the declarer is holding. It's like a secret code. Our third and final pillar is the count signal. Now, this one's a little more subtle. It's often used against suit contracts where knowing the exact number of cards in a suit becomes super important for things like planning a trump or ruff. Spot card leads are all about using your small cards, your spots, to show your partner precisely how many cards you hold. Now, the fourth best lead we just talked about is a type of spot card lead, but sometimes, especially against suit contracts, partnerships want an even more precise count, which brings us to a key difference. This really shows you how flexible the system is. Against a no-trump contract, the goal is usually to set up a long suit, so the standard fourth best lead is perfect. But against a suit contract, knowing your partner's exact card count can be way more valuable. So to do this, some partnerships use a system of third and fifth best leads. It just means from a 3-card suit, you lead your lowest card, your third best. And from a 5-card suit, you also lead your lowest, your fifth best. It's an advanced signal, but it tells your partner you hold an odd number of cards. So let's bring it all together. These 3 pillars, strength, length, and count, they aren't separate, competing ideas. They form a single, cohesive language that lets you and your partner work as a team to take down the contract.
And here it is. This is your ultimate takeaway, your cheat sheet. This summarizes the core of standard American leads. Your first question is always, do I have a strong sequence? If yes, lead it. If no, lead fourth best from your longest suit. And always be thinking about how your spot cards can show count. This is your decision tree on every single opening lead.
And of course, there are always a few other key guidelines to keep in mind. Leading the top card from a 2-card holding, a doubleton, is a standard way to ask for a ruff. And hey, if your partner bid a suit, trust them, lead that suit. And please, be super careful about leading away from an ace that doesn't have any other honors to support it. That can be a very costly mistake. So remember, your lead is never ever random. You are always sending one of 3 messages. Are you showing strength with powerful honors? Are you showing length in a suit you want to set up? Or are you giving your partner a precise count of your cards? Strength, length, or count? You know, there's a quote I love that just perfectly captures this idea. It says your opening lead isn't just a card, it's the first sentence in a conversation with your partner. And that's it, right there. Bridge is all about partnership, and your defense is only as good as your communication. And look, the beauty of standard is that simplicity. Pretty much any partner you sit down with is going to get it. But, and this is a big but, that simplicity comes at a cost, and that cost is ambiguity. Certain leads can leave your partner totally in the dark, just forced to make a guess. Here it is. This is the perfect example of the problem. When you lead a king, what are you showing? The ace or the queen? With standard leads, your partner has absolutely no idea. It's a coin flip for them. And it's this exact problem that pushed players to develop systems with a whole lot more clarity. So how do you solve that guessing game? Well, one really popular answer is a system called Rousinow leads. It's specifically designed to bring crystal clear communication to your defense, especially against suit contracts. The genius of Rousinow is this simple, elegant twist on the standard rule. Instead of leading the top of your touching honors, you lead the second highest. It seems like a small change, but trust me, it has massive implications for clarity. Let me break it down for you. With a king-queen holding, you lead the queen. With an ace-king, you lead the king. You see that? Boom. Just like that, the ambiguity is gone. Your partner knows exactly what you have. And this also means an ace lead sends a totally different message. It usually denies you have the king. To get even more precise, a lot of partnerships will pair this with third and fifth best leads to show their suit length. So what's the bottom line on Rousinow? Well, its biggest advantage by far is that it just eliminates the guesswork. Your partner knows what you have. But it's not a tool for every situation. It's a specialist, most effective against suit contracts. And you absolutely positively have to have a clear agreement with your partner to use it. Okay, so if Rousinow is the specialist for suits, then journalist is the high-tech codebreaker for no-trump contracts. This is where defensive communication gets incredibly precise. I want you to forget the simple rules like top of a sequence. Journalist is a fully coded language. Each honor you lead isn't just a high card. It's a specific instruction, a piece of intelligence for your partner, all tailored for the unique puzzle of defending no trump. This right here, this is the heart of the journalist system. It's a mantra you just have to remember. Leading the jack denies you hold a higher honor in that suit. But leading the 10 implies that you do have a higher honor. It's such a beautifully simple yet powerful piece of code. Oh, but the code doesn't stop there. It goes even deeper. An ace lead becomes a specific request, asking your partner to unblock or show count. A queen lead points to very specific holdings. And even your little spot cards get in on the action, with high ones discouraging the suit and low ones encouraging it. It's a system where literally every card tells a story. The power of Journalist is just undeniable. It provides an incredible amount of rich, precise information. But it is a double-edged sword. Its complexity requires serious partnership commitment, and a smart declarer can actually listen in on your coded conversation and use all that information against you. So, we have the universal language, the suit specialist, and the note trump codebreaker. Now we get to the big question. Which of these languages is the right one for your partnership's defensive conversations? We've looked at the universal language, the suit specialist, and the note trump codebreaker. So how do you decide? Let's put them all side by side and see how they really stack up. This table really puts everything into perspective, doesn't it? You can see the clear trade-off. Standard is super simple but really ambiguous. As you move over to Rousinow and then to Journalist, the ambiguity drops way, way down. But the complexity just shoots right up. That's the core decision your partnership has to make. Are you willing to take on more complexity to get more precision? This table really breaks it all down pretty nicely. You can see the standard leads, like fourth best, are simple, they're popular, they make fantastic defaults. Now, the advanced systems, like Journalist and Rousinow, they give you way more information, but of course, they come with higher complexity. They're best used in very specific situations. Journalist for no trump, and Rousinow for suit contracts. So how should you approach all this? Well, the path is actually pretty clear. Everyone needs a rock-solid foundation in standard leads. Once you've got that down, then you can specialize. If no trump defense is your big priority, take a look at Journalist. If you really want to nail your suit contract defense, explore Rousinow. But none of that matters without the last, most crucial step. You must talk to your partner and agree on the language you're going to speak. So, what's the takeaway for your own game? Here's your roadmap. Start by mastering those 3 basic leads. Make the fourth best lead your go-to default. It's the most widely used for a very good reason. But the golden rule, and this is probably the most important thing, no matter what system you choose, is that you and your partner must have a crystal clear agreement. Confusion is the absolute enemy of good defense. Once you're feeling really comfortable with the basics and you want to add a little more precision to your game, here's your guide. If you want to sharpen your defense against no-trump contracts, look into Journalist. If you want to totally eliminate ambiguity against suit contracts, Rousinow is an excellent choice. The 2 big ones we're talking about today are Journalist and Rousinow, and I want you to think of them as specialized dialects of the bridge language. You're not going to use them in every conversation, but when the situation is just right, boy, are they powerful. They let you say things you just can't with the standard leads. All right, let's put these 2 head-to-head. The showdown, Journalist versus Rousinow. They might look a little similar at first glance, but trust me, they're designed to do very, very different jobs. And this table really breaks it all down. You can see the main difference right away. Journalist is this really rich, coded language. It's perfect for no-trump contracts where things get complicated. You're talking about specific honor holdings, you're showing attitude, it's complex. Rousinow, on the other hand, is all about being clear and direct. You lead the second highest of touching honors, and boom, no more guesswork. That makes it a fantastic tool for suit contracts. So, here's the bottom line. The most important takeaway. Journalist is all about describing the quality of your honors. Think sequences like King Jack 10. Rousinow, that's about clarifying the location of honors, like, hey, I have the ace king, not the king queen, and showing your suit length. See, they're solving 2 totally different puzzles for your partnership. Okay, so that's the theory. But knowing the theory is one thing. Knowing when to actually use it at the table is the real trick. So let's get practical. And your first clue, almost every single time, is the contract itself. Are you up against a no-trump contract or a suit contract? Because believe me, what you need to communicate to your partner is worlds apart in those 2 situations. Journalist absolutely loves no-trump contracts. This is its home turf. Why? Because in no-trump, the defense is a race. You've got to set up your tricks before the declarer can run their long suit. Journalist gives you the detailed info about your honors, those tricky interior sequences, to do just that. It's how you solve those really thorny no-trump puzzles. Now, flip over to Rousinow. This convention shines when there's a trump suit. Its entire reason for being is clarity, simplicity. You lead the second highest from touching honors, like the king from ace-king, and your partner knows exactly what you have. No guessing games. And that kind of clarity is absolutely critical when you're trying to cash your tricks before declarer roughs everything in sight. Okay, let's put you in the hot seat. Here's a real-world example. You're on lead, it's a no-trump contract, and you're holding king, jack, 10, 9, 2 in a suit. From the bidding, you're pretty sure your partner has the ace. The big mystery is, where's the queen? You've got to send your partner a very precise message, right now.
So what's the problem? Well, if you use a standard lead, you're in a tough spot. If you lead the king, your partner might think you also have the queen. If you lead your fourth best, the 9, well, they'll have no clue what's going on. Either way, they might be afraid to play their ace, thinking they'll just be setting up the declarer's queen. And just like that, you've lost a crucial trick, and maybe even the whole game. But if you're playing journalist, you have the perfect weapon. You lead the jack. Remember our mantra, jack denies. That single card sends a crystal clear message. Partner, I do not have the queen. Now they can slam down their ace with total confidence, knowing the queen is with the declarer, and then lead the suit right back to you. It's just a beautiful, precise piece of communication that you simply cannot get with standard leads.
So, what's the big takeaway here? It's that these conventions, they're not just a bunch of rules you have to memorize for a test. They are communication tools. And your job, as a defender, is to think about the story you need to tell your partner and then pick the very best tool to tell it. So now you know about these secret languages. The question is, what's your partnership's secret code going to be? The next step really isn't at the table. It's having that conversation with your partner. Deciding to speak a clearer, more powerful language together, well, that's your first move toward a truly killer defense. At the end of the day, the best system, it's not found in a book. It's found in the shared understanding between you and your partner. It's about being absolutely certain you're both speaking the same language. So the real question to leave you with is this. What system will make your next defensive conversation the clearest and most effective it can possibly be?
Subscribe our channel for more videos.